Welcome everyone. We're here for the men's final of the Australian Under-22 Ultimate Championships in beautiful Geelong, Victoria, and at Deakin University. We have New South Wales in the blue versus Queensland in the maroon. My name's Jonathan Potts. I'm the president of Ultimate Australia. I'm joined in this telecast by John McNaughton.
G'day everyone.
And we'll be your commentators for today's game. It's promising to be a pretty frenetically paced game, I reckon this. Queensland plays a pretty aggressive style of Ultimate, John.
Yeah, we're generally known for having big dumb guys that run and guys that like hucking it to them. And I think if this morning's match against Victoria was anything to go by, we'll be seeing a lot of that again.
You're probably more familiar with the player names than I am, but so you pretty much, John will pretty much call the Queensland Queensland offense. I'll call the New South Wales offense. Yeah, so I mean it's a tough ask for Queensland nonetheless. I mean New South Wales would be the favourite coming into this game, don't you think?
Yeah, I wasn't here yesterday, but obviously New South Wales got the win in that game. So they're coming in undefeated to the final. So it's going to be tough. Nobody would be putting in Queensland as a favourite when they've lost the last game. From what I heard, it was a close game. So I can't imagine that we're going to be seeing a blowout here in either way.
Yeah, and I think when you play that kind of aggressive style of Ultimate, you just need a few to go your way, and you get a couple of breaks, especially early in the game, and the favourite starts to question themselves a little bit, and anything can happen. Hey,
absolutely.
So yeah,
that's one thing about coming in as the favourite is when you're not winning or when the other team is getting a roll on, you're in the position where you've got something to lose. So that's what, exactly as you say, Queensland will be looking to come out and get a head start, get a jump, get a D-break, and put New South Wales in a bit of a hole that they have to dig out of.
So looks like New South Wales is going to receive the first point. Running left to right on the screen. So players to watch from Queensland?
So the players to watch would be Linus Mueller, number 11. Linus was third in the MVP voting at Open Nationals this year, so good form. Big athletic receiver, big strong body. Elliot Cook, number 1, and Alex Leask, number 20, who have played a lot of Frisbee together, including on the Goannas, which is the Australian Under-23 men's team last time round. And then Lachlan Murphy and Liam Grimmond, who were together on the Blue Bottles, the mixed team.
Yeah, I watched Queensland play yesterday, and Grimmond was definitely getting a lot of Frisbee, picking the disc up a lot off the stop disc and getting the disc moving.
Yep, you'll see Liam generally anchoring the defensive offense, and usually with the biggest defensive matchup as well.
And from New South Wales, I reckon, number 2, Braden Cheng, is super fast and will be making it pretty difficult for the Queensland offense, I think. Looking down there as well, a bit of a kind of newcomer to the elite scene is Alex Gann. He is also super fast, but we'll call the play. So New South Wales working it down the far sideline. Dan Petrov sends it deep straight away to Dennis Tran in the end zone. They made that look pretty simple. That was straight out of the playbook. They probably practiced that the last few weeks and executed it perfectly.
Yep, not a lot of wind here, so very, very good conditions for running a fast-paced, big-throwing offense. Very clean side stack, and as you said, Jonathan, we've got some serious speed on the New South Wales team. Dennis there showed his wheels, heading to the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be pretty happy with the way they started that game, and there's smiles all around. Started that point. I think, if you're Queensland, I mean, maybe a bit early to it's not too early to talk tactics. You know that they're going to have set plays like that. You know they're going to try and pump it down the strong side of the field. So What would you be thinking tactically?
So, again, without seeing yesterday's game, there's obviously some data there that the coaches will have to go off. I would be looking to throw a couple of different defensive looks early in the game and see how New South Wales responds, see what their offense does in junk situations, in backhand and forehand and straight up situations, and see who the key players are going to be. They probably, as I said, identified that yesterday, but start to figure out where the strengths of that offense are so that they can figure out what defense to use to take those away.
Yeah, matchups are key, aren't they? Part of getting a good defense happening.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Queensland receiving it on around their end zone line.
So Cook to Maju, a relatively newcomer to the higher level scene. He's playing really well. Gives to Locke Bonney.
New South Wales has the zone on.
Swings to Elliot Cook back in the middle of the field. Cook back to McPherson and out to Leask. We see De Hollander sitting a long way deep at the moment.
Well, that was an ambitious throw, not that well executed. Cheng picks it up.
Queensland still
Give go
scrambling.
with Reeve. Big throw over the top, overthrown.
Queensland a little bit lucky to get away with that one. They're still scrambling to catch up on defense.
That shot was to Mark Wee, number 50, just a bit out of his reach. So it was a good look.
Cook bringing it in on the sideline. And Jonathan, you'd say that that first couple of turnovers was an example of what we talked about, potential for either team to get an early heads up.
That was a great grab by Mueller. And not sure how he's not in on that, but he definitely seemed to jump in quite cleanly.
A couple of big Queensland boys exchanging passes there.
Some cheekiness, but I thought he jumped in quite cleanly, so I'm not sure why it's not already goal.
I don't know why they're not asking us, Jonathan, given we've clearly got the best perspective here at halfway.
Well, there's no game advisors, so I think we should take on that role. We do have line assistant for this game. I just missed the replay, but folks at home, you can judge for yourself. It was a great take by Mueller up the sideline. It was a kind of a cheeky huck right down the sideline. Mueller, he's a big lad. He used his body well to fend off the defence, and they make it a simple goal.
It was a good little matchup, actually, between two of the players that we highlighted before the game. Braden, the New South Wales deep, obviously lightning fast, but Linus had the advantage in the air with big body and a little bit more height.
So that's 1-1. Queensland's happy to get on the scoreboard. There's a chance there they're going to go 2-0 down. There was a real chance they're going to go 2-0 down. They seem to deal with the zone okay. I think like that initial hammer shot over the top, it was kind of there, just poorly executed. Need to be a bit deeper, but it's always. That's kind of what the zone wants you to do, is throw hammers over the top. So you got to be careful about when you take that choice. And it was a gutsy, like the second possession against the zone. That was a gutsy throw down the sideline, I thought. But sometimes you got to trust your receivers,
and Linus is well trusted. Mueller is well trusted. I think that was an example of what you were talking about before, Jonathan. The New South Wales coaches obviously recognise that Queensland like to run their big boys. They like to put it in the air. So they've come out on a zone straight away to try and put Braden in the best perspective, or Cheng in the best position to make a play.
That's a poor pull from Queensland. You don't really want to do that. Pulls can make a big difference to a game. So New South Wales walking up to the brick mark.
In a side stack again. Let's see how Queensland responds to this one.
Jaden Ferguson walking it up. It's got a little bit of isolation play upfield. Can't hit the first option, but Cheng provides a solid undercut. Poorly executed deep shot from him. He'll be and he is disappointed with that. Gan was providing him something. It was still a tough shot because by the time Cheng released, Gan was a long way downfield, so it needed to be a well executed shot.
And Queensland obviously recognise Cheng as a very dangerous receiver, a threat going away from the disc. They've allowed him to come in and get it. So Grimman brings it in, throws to Cook. Cook hucks aggressively.
Ferguson reads that well and comes back under strongly to get the block, and he gets it again. It's to Gan. Gan centres it a bit to Cheng. Back to Ferguson. Looking to break, not on, resets.
The initial run and gun has been closed
McDonald,
out.
nice little inside break. Cheng wants something clean. It's gone to Tran, Dennis Tran. Petrov just outside the end zone. Gan can chase that, and he does. He is super fast. Didn't get it in, taps it unnecessarily, and throws a goal. But, you know, I think if you tap it, they can't call travel on you, really, can they?
Yeah, I think it just helps avoid potential argument with when people don't necessarily know the rules. So New South Wales very much showing their speed. That's the second time that they've run and gun on the turnover. Queensland were really scrambling, did well to contain the initial damage and put themselves in a position to defend the end zone. Couldn't do it on this time. New South Wales too fast.
Yeah, that was an impressive show from New South Wales. They pretty much put the disc through their entire roster there, and every single player looked very comfortable with the disc and looked to be aggressive. And Gan is just ridiculously fast. They put that up and he just chases it down. You know, if you can keep it in the air long enough, he'll always get it.
So game still on serve.
And Queensland had it there. He was saying Grimman, it was Grimman that ended up putting it up. Like he looked
Cook on that possession.
Cook ended up putting it up. For most of that possession, he was trying to get the deep option off. Possibly, you know, that's telegraphed too long at this kind of level of ultimate. If it's not on in the first couple of seconds or the first couple of looks, then you probably need to start looking deep. And there, the defender was standing a long way away from the disc, which makes it pretty hard to get it past them.
We see another out-of-bounds pull, pretty much the same place as the last point, so Queensland will be bringing it in from the brick. Looks like we have Cook again going to pick it up. Keen observers may have noticed there's another Cook. Number 2 on Queensland is Joel Cook, so they are brothers. Elliott's the older one. Given that one plays O, one plays D, you'll just hear it as Cook.
There's a little bit of wind. It's kind of coming from left to right on the camera, a little bit across the field, away from the camera as well.
Nice to have a tall receiver. De Hollander gets the disc into Mueller in the middle of the field. Dumps to Maju. Good gain from Lachlan Bonney. Bonney to Mueller. Mueller back to Maju. Maju looks for the give and go up the line with Cook.
They're looking to work their short game. They're doing it well.
McPherson does well. Breaks nicely to Bonney. Bonney now in the middle of the field. Puts it up in the air. Well, a little bit of excitement. Strong grab from Leask.
Yeah, out of the hand, it looked like there's maybe a bit too much air under it, but the receiver left it in no doubt, hey?
Yeah. One of those throws where you open a little bit window for the defense, but he's put it in the right position for the offense to make a play. So you can see here, lots of air. Defender has a chance to catch up, but Leask manages to keep him on the shoulder and make the play.
Good position. He worked out his position very early on there, and it helps a lot if you can read where the disc is going to be and where your maximum jump's going to be. Makes it hard for the defense to get in there. And He's another one who's a pretty solid build, and it's hard once he's got position to get around him.
Yep. So it's 2-all. Sides are trading. Both have gone in once without a turn and once with.
It's not a super tall team, New South Wales, is it? So
no.
They're fast. They're super fast, but not a massive amount of height. That may be somewhere where Queensland has a little bit of advantage, you think?
Yeah, I think you can pretty clearly see a difference between the two teams. The Queensland receivers, there's a number of boys out there who are sort of 190 centimetres or up, sort of 6'3", 6'4", 6'5". We haven't mentioned there's two more boys from North Queensland, Tom Anderson, number 9, and Luke Hamilton, number 6, both around 6'6". So it's big targets for Queensland. As we've said, New South Wales has got some serious speed to burn. So it'll be an interesting matchup as this game goes on. Lower wind conditions usually, you would think, may favour speed, but we'll find out. Pull goes up.
Yeah, Petrov receives the pull to Ferguson, centre of the field. McDonald puts it into traffic, and that's not successful. And that height mismatch just meant there was no way that was going to come off, hey?
And a smart poach from the Queensland defenders. You saw Murphy in there, reading the play, recognised that Chang was a big threat going deep. A little bit lucky there. Anderson manages to bring it down. Long arms. Grimond getting every other for the offense. Murphy gives it back to him. Big spin call.
Big call. Yeah, a bid there by Dave Andrews. Just not quite there.
Grimond looking. There's not a lot going on upfield, so he goes back to his mate Murphy.
Nice little inside throw.
Anderson with the disc.
He doesn't want to throw it forwards.
Good dump. Grimond using his full arsenal there. Villas gets up high.
Oh, that was a great block by Petrov. And he makes certain of it. Oh, there's a foul called on the throw, perhaps.
So another example of closing speed from New South Wales there. Petrov, very, very explosive player. Makes a big play.
When you're saying Grimond using his arsenal, he's got a lot of cheeky little throws, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's well known for getting the disc out in places that normally the disc does not come from. Left hand,
that was pretty
right hand.
regulation.
Fairly orthodox forehand.
Nice break.
Swings to Murphy. Murphy nicely fed out to Grimond. Grimond in the middle of the field. Big spin called. Queensland offense a little bit scattered at the moment. You can see players all over the field. They're going to need to tighten themselves up so that Grimond has one target to look at.
Yeah, you kind of want to look weak side, don't you, rather than try to beat to the short side. But that's what they've done, and they've done. Oh, but Andrews gets there. Yeah, like when your speed mismatched, it's hard to get to the short side.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you want to use your height on the weak side.
Yep.
On the fat side of the field. That was a real chance for Queensland. Ferguson to Cheng.
New South Wales in a horizontal stack instead of that side stack that they've been running off the pull.
Not getting the cuts he needs. Oh, Petrov hurt himself, maybe, no, but yeah, disappointed with not getting that. Yeah, Queensland good defense. A good period of like 6 or 7 seconds that New South Wales couldn't get a clean cut to the disc.
Yep. Grimond with the disc.
Another pick.
We have Chris Tan in the dump position at the moment. Not much going on downfield. Reese McAlpine makes a strong cut, attacks well.
Yeah. Okay, Grimond wants to throw from here. Patient.
There we go again. Grimond pulls out a high forehand break into the weak side. Front corner of the end zone is Tom Anderson, who's rewarded for some really good cutting that point.
Mate, that was a ridiculously pretty throw, actually, wasn't it?
That is the kind of throw that you don't really teach people to mark for because not many people can put it in that spot that well and that consistently.
And just so quickly and cleanly executed, it's hard to, like, anticipate.
Yep. So that's the first break of the game.
Man, Queensland would be pretty happy right now.
Very happy. Going upwind as well. So they've got the chance to potentially convert this. They'll be coming out with a downwind defence. As we said, wind's not too strong, but definitely favouring the team running from the left end zone.
Do you have any allegiances in this game, John?
Well, as a Queensland player of many, many years, Potsy.
So you're a cane toad?
I am a cane toad. Where do your allegiances lie here?
Oh, solidly with Queensland, mate. Whenever it's state versus state, I'm always for Queensland, but I am impartial. on camera, I'm impartial.
Officially impartial, but happy when Queensland wins.
It's hard. It's kind of hard in Frisbee, isn't it? Because you're kind of friends with everyone, and yeah.
It is. It's very strong. It fits very strongly the Origin mentality of mate against mate. And many of these guys would have played together on teams such as the under-23 team, such as the under-19 and under-20 teams for Australia. We've got a number of past and current reps out there. Yeah, these boys would know each other well.
Yeah, a bunch of players out in the field today have a really strong shot at that under-24 team.
Absolutely.
Being selected next year. So it's Ferguson with the disc to Petrov with lots of space. Back to Ferguson. They're working pretty easily right now.
Queensland have contained the huck, but
to Gann out on the sideline. They're now struggling a little bit to get the space. Petrov gets it. There's injury. Doesn't look great.
Villas is down. It looked like his player turned. I'm not sure exactly what's happened, whether Villas got caught up in his legs or has just slipped out.
Bit of smiling, but
Villas is very well known in Brisbane for putting his body on the line. To see him going off the field, having hurt himself working really hard on defence is not unusual. I have no doubt he'll be back out there.
So New South Wales did it quite easily for the first half of the field, and then all of a sudden Queensland's defence started to shut them down, and they struggled to get any sort of forward momentum.
Yeah.
I think maybe playing a little bit poachy. I haven't quite seen exactly what Queensland's doing, but yeah, they're making it hard for New South Wales to generate those undercuts right now.
Yeah, I think they recognised that the threat in that side stack was the New South Wales speed, and they were happy to allow undercuts or underpasses for the first couple to contain them and shrink the field.
Tight pass completed to Wee.
Good
Ferguson
cover from Sims.
Wants it, but it's not on. Petrov gets it. Easy reset.
Great dump cover from Sims. Draws a stall call.
Yep. Yeah, look, that he was in trouble, no doubt. It's often hard. If they throw the disc, it's hard to get the stall, isn't it?
Can be very tough. So they'll be debating the finer points of when 10 was said and when the disc was thrown.
Most important thing, I think, is to be adamant that your perspective is correct.
I think the most important thing is to be respectful, Potsy.
You can be respectful and adamant.
So you have Sims covering the upline player, Cook on the dump, Leask on the mark.
Petrov wants the disc, no doubt. It's going to be a fast stall. Ooh. Ooh! Just in. There's a bit of argument.
Queensland players called out.
Yep.
Hopefully we can get a replay
about
on this.
which foot hit the ground first, whether it was a
let's see on this replay.
Outbounds.
Disc is up. Angus McDonald running for it.
Yeah, there's not really any doubt on the replay, but
replay looks pretty clearly in.
It would be unusual in that situation to get your. It would be unusual to get your outside foot down first. And they took it out. It's good. You'd have to contort a little bit to put your outside foot down first, I reckon, in that situation. But I mean, people have done it.
Definitely very doable. So speaking of past Australian reps, that was Angus McDonald, the current Australian under-20 captain. Strong catch in a difficult situation for New South Wales. Queensland will be pretty happy to put them in that spot, but New South Wales did well to dig out.
It was good defence from Queensland, wasn't it? And look, that you could almost say they deserved that stall count. That coverage on Ferguson in the dump position.
That was fantastic.
You followed him all the way around the thrower and shut that down completely, and then. Yeah.
Yep.
By then, the count was obviously pretty high.
Count was very high. Petrov has managed to earn a pass close enough that we weren't certain about the stall, and then, as we saw, McDonald, strong grab in the end zone.
Yeah, Queensland would be a little bit disappointed that, you know, they, even from that restart, there wasn't weren't many options for that 1.5 seconds of stall count, and Queensland would be disappointed that they weren't able to cover that kind of massive, the strong side, short side end zone. It's really one of the places where the disc might go, and the Queensland defenders all ran out of it and let the New South Wales players run into it. Yeah,
a floater into the open side of the end zone is not the way you want to get scored on there. Queensland will be very happy to be able to put that pressure on, to put New South Wales in that position.
It was great defence, wasn't it?
Let's see what New South Wales brings back. Their own downwind pull. McPherson Fields to Maju. Queensland in a horizontal stack. Bonnie makes the cut and gets looked off. Enormous bid.
Petrov.
Call has been made.
He went back to that casually, didn't he? Really casually.
Casual from Bonnie, enormous
he's diving
from
across
Petrov.
in front. It's hard to think that he would have had sustained control of that at least. But yeah.
We'll see what gets talked out here. We're not sure from here whether it was a strip or a foul call. Incredible play from Petrov. Regardless of the outcome, fantastic bid.
Looks like it's staying with Queensland. Going back to the thrower.
So a contested call.
Petrov's another key player. He's backing up from that last offensive point.
I'm sure we'll see a lot of Petrov. Been playing at club and university level for a number of years. He's going to be very key for this team. So back to Cook restarting play. Cook looks big.
Oh.
Cook to his best mate Leask, and we've got a miscommunication.
Gann with the disc. Gets it out to Cheng. Pick called on that. I think it's probably going to go back.
Loud calls backhand force from the Queensland team.
Got the early movement, New South Wales, but then kind of shut down by Queensland there.
Yep.
Need to generate something. Big throw. Petrov running. That's a nice shot. Oh, fantastic grab. Wow. And he's happy.
As we said, explosive player.
Man, he climbed up a ladder to get that one.
You can see him start the cut there in the replay. His breakaway speed is fantastic. Cheng does well, leads him out into space.
It was a gutsy shot. There wasn't a lot of separation, and in the end, it was almost contested.
Absolutely. So we had speed against height, and in that case, speed also came with a pretty serious jump.
Pinpoint throw from Cheng.
So New South Wales with their own break back. We're on serve.
Yeah, I think probably part of Petrov's joy there was it probably felt a bit robbed on that block earlier on, hey?
Feels very sweet to make your second big play of the point.
Yeah.
As we see him smiling on the sideline.
It's interesting, like, when you feel, sometimes, when you feel hard done by a call, it can kind of boil the blood a little bit and just ramp up your determination that little bit more, hey?
Absolutely. And we see that all kinds of sport. You get your motivation from all kinds of places, and making a big play that you don't get the disc out of, he'll be keen to make that second play.
So New South Wales got the break back.
Yep, so back to offense playing downwind here for Queensland. Good pull. Cook to Maju. Something happens out of the hand from Maju. Not sure what. A serious miss throw. Queensland have managed to contain the initial and force New South into the dump.
Just does it easy. Wow. That's what you don't want, is it? Like, the... need to steady the ship a little bit, Queensland, right now. Don't
you? Very much, you can accept a break happens, but to see this one quite uncharacteristic. Maju very safe normally, good decision maker, clean thrower. Not quite sure what happened. Perhaps a late decision to try and hold on to it. He'll be kicking himself for that, but he needs to just bring his head back into the game. He's key for this offense. Queensland boys have called a timeout.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. Like, yeah, he just... It's funny how demoralising those short turnovers and easy scores can be, can't they? Like,
Absolutely.
you need to be able to just walk away from it and pretend it didn't happen in a way.
Yep. No, I'm sure Timothy's Copeland in there. He's going to be, as the head coach, he'll be telling the boys that skills errors happen. There's one little slip. It shouldn't affect anything going forward.
Yeah, the extreme example was when you drop the ball. Like, there's not much to be said. You know, nothing you need to do to adjust your game. Yeah.
No. And so, in that Queensland huddle, you know, the initial high from getting that first break will have settled a little bit, and they'll be feeling a little bit down from those last two breaks against them. So Copeland and Marcus Leask, as assistant coach, will be just bringing the boys back in, reminding them that the game is still very, very even. We're early days.
Look, I mean, I'm kind of thinking, what Queensland, like, they do have this advantage out on the field, and that's their height. And if I were Queensland, I'd just think a little bit about trying to keep that stack short and just try to pump something big early on in the possession. Like, yes, try to draw the defenders in short and then just pump one of your big guys deep.
Absolutely. So we've seen that. We've seen them attempt it a couple times so far, but without a good short setup.
Structure, yeah.
Yep. So they haven't had a clear one-on-one where a tall boy can get in front and make a play.
Yeah. Yeah, because they don't need, because of that height and like even size advantage, they don't need spectacular position. They just need a bit of a lead, and it's very hard. Even if the defense has a bit of speed advantage, it's very hard for them to catch and get position and out jump.
Getting to the contest probably won't be a problem for some of the New South Wales defenders, but making a play on some of the big Queensland receivers, very, very difficult to do, even if you're there. So Grimmond has come over.
Come on to offense.
He's taken Maju's position, it looks like. Maju might just be sitting for a point, just to clear his head a little bit.
Yeah, I thought, not that point, but the point before, it wasn't as strong a line as you could see from Queensland. And it's hard. You need to use your roster, don't you? But when every point counts, and like some players are a little bit outpaced, or it's tough.
Be very interesting to see during this game, obviously, as the final, the big game, nothing else to play for, whether we see the offense and defense lines switching up. So at the moment, Queensland's been running quite regimented offense and defense. This is the first time we've seen a D player come over with Grimmond. Be interesting to see whether they do shorten up their lines later in the game, like you were saying, and try and stack it with their strongest players.
And to be frank, these aren't really long games, are they? It's a 70-minute time cap, so
70-minute games is only their second game of the day, so there should be plenty left in the legs.
You kind of... Big shot. Oh, but just not set up properly, was it?
No.
It was almost standing there waiting for the disc to come.
It's the target they wanted. It was one of the throws that they wanted, but the defender was just sitting there waiting for it. There was no opportunity for Mueller to sort of control the space and make the play on his terms.
Yeah, you want to run on, like, even if you have to slow down a bit, you want to be running onto it and be able to choose your line, not having to stand still and then adjust.
And so New South Wales played very intelligently at the moment, denying Queensland that opportunity. Queensland's going to need to respond, or they're going to be turning it over a lot. We'll see what happens here from the New South Wales offense.
Oh, Grimmond just runs past and grabs the disc.
That's why he's been brought over. He is a superstar for this team.
Oh, cheeky. Not as nice as his last one. Just gets in front of the defender.
Gets the job done. Very good attack from Bonnie for the goal. Doesn't allow the defender to get in front. Puts his shoulders in front, reaches out, takes the disc early.
Queensland happy to be on the scoreboard, but they're still not quite firing their offense isn't firing on all cylinders, is it?
No, offense is very much off. They've just come off a game where the offense wasn't broken at all. Had a strong morning against Victoria. So coming out and having a couple of breaks might have just put the wind up them a little bit. They're going to need to settle their heads, bring themselves back into this game.
Yeah, Grimmond is seeming increasingly key to Queensland for me. Like just the way he can control the offense and then the defensive, the ability to get a block like that. Just yeah, great.
Grimmond is becoming quite well known around the country quite quickly. He's a game changer at open level. He won the Defensive Player of the Year award for Mammoth, the Queensland Open men's team, the club team at Nationals this year. And he also fulfilled that role very capably when he was playing for the Australian Blue Bottles last year. So absolutely, very key for this Queensland team. So we see Leask coming over for a defensive point here, as well as
great
Cook.
pull from Grimmond.
Queensland have put a very strong line on here.
Ferguson picking it up. No, sorry, not Ferguson. Scammell picking up to Ferguson. To Gann. Resets to Ferguson. Already kind of good defense from Queensland, shutting down forcing some kind of shortish offense from New South Wales. Cheng to Petrov. That's a key partnership there, those two. Back to Cheng. Within striking distance, but he looks to reset to Ferguson. Ferguson has very strong skills close to the disc. To Cheng.
Interesting matchup on Cheng. This is Anderson from North Queensland. Hasn't played a lot of high-level ultimate. It'll be interesting to see whether Cheng's experience will come into play here.
Tran out to Gann. Back to Cheng. Cheng looking end zone. Oh, bit of contact. I mean, possibly just trying to get the wingspan onto Cheng, you think? Certainly that last possession by Cheng, he was making a bid on that break shot.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything malicious in that. I think Anderson may not have expected the move, was trying to get the arms out there. Just a little bit...
Quite tight.
That's right. There's a good physical battle going on there. Anderson cops a couple of little bumps.
Petrov has it. He looks at Cheng.
New South Wales not going
Ferguson.
forward.
You'd be happy right now with Queensland, but you got to keep working a bit more to get that block.
Yep.
You've got to run into that. Oh, Petrov in striking distance. Just needs speed into the corner. Well, there you go. Pays off for Queensland. They worked hard. They worked super hard on that defense.
Yep.
And they got their reward. Petrov maybe just put it out a little bit too far in front because it looked like Scammell was in front, didn't it?
Yeah, it certainly wasn't a block earned by Queensland in the sense of getting the disc cleanly, but it did force New South Wales into a lot of passes and a little skills error. Let's see whether they can convert now. Grimmed up line to Leask.
Big cut deep. And a great read. Oh no! Oh, he did everything but catch it.
Queensland backing their tall players again, puts it up to Murphy and...
I like to jump in that situation, not have my feet on the ground as I'm trying to catch that on the run.
Yeah, and reaching out for the pancake as well, Jonathan. Yeah. Difficult catch, high pancake.
He was kind of in there, wasn't he?
No, it was a rim catch, but just a little skills there.
Ferguson, got a length of the field to work, gets it to Cheng. They don't want him to cut open. Gann was providing the deep cut, and there was danger there. If Gann got separation, Cheng was going to throw it. I think the mark probably knew that or got
We've already seen Cheng put up a couple of hucks.
Looking short now.
The Sims and Ferguson matchup happening again. Ferguson gets the better of him in this time.
Scammell cutting. I think he'll look short. Petrov's giving him something. Petrov will look for it as a call, as contact. Bit of talk. It's hard to argue when there's contact that it's not the marker's fault.
Points starting to drag out a little bit. We're going to see fatigue.
Petrov out again. Plenty of space out on the weak side. Oh, Scammell was quite separated deep, but not thrown. Gann is kind of unmarked. Grimmin looking to poach. Nice little inside throw to Cheng.
Yep.
They're in striking distance now. Gann gets it again. Oh no!
Anderson makes a big play.
How much of the disc did he get there? But it still snuck past him.
So New South Wales coming up pretty lucky on that point, you'd have to say, Jonathan, with a drop from the Queensland receiver. And
yeah.
Just got the breaks on that point.
Made them work. Like, both those New South Wales possessions, they made them work hard. Didn't do it. It wasn't anything really easy there. I think some of the I think the New South Wales resetting was kind of easy, but the forward progress was difficult. And Queensland's putting a lot of pressure on every single pass, both possessions. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, and look, and I liked the way that Queensland on the transition just pumped it.
Back their strength.
Yeah. So I'd like to see more of that.
The structure was a little bit better in that they actually had some space to run into. The cut came from fairly short, so maybe they're starting to clean up, as we were talking about before.
Yeah, and they especially when New South Wales has the disc in their half, they need to be a bit protective of the deep shots because, people like, Gann or Cheng running deep, like once they get in front, it's going to be hard to catch them. But,
absolutely.
As long as you can protect that early in the possession, then they've got to throw a lot of passes and eventually they'll make a mistake.
Yep. Interestingly, we haven't actually seen any form of junk defense from Queensland yet. If I'm not mistaken, they've sort of sagged and poached a little bit from that side stack, but they've come down only in man defenses so far. Yeah,
I think that's what they're doing, yeah. Like, especially, it seemed like Grimmin was peeling off his man a little bit to try and poach the short side, and that's kind of let's call it like a quasi-junk in a way. But, like it would be, I think it would be worthwhile just trying some zone, hey? And there's a bit of wind.
There's a little bit more wind than there was at the start of the game.
As we're speaking, a gust came through.
New South Wales in man. Of Cook with the disc. Feeds to Mueller.
Into traffic.
Mueller misses Leask on the inside. Again, New South Wales looking to run and gun.
I think Harrison Revine maybe got the block in the end there. Mark Wee has it. Got it out to Daniel Reeve. Daniel Reeve sent it into space. Beautiful throw.
Oh,
beautiful.
It was very
way
tight.
To see the space in the end zone and get it out there in front of your receivers. That's,
a couple of players in the stack were very close to getting a hand on that disc early, but as soon as it cleared those, very, very clean, floated beautifully for his receiver.
Oh, just out of reach. But the space out there
recognised the space very nicely.
Untouchable out there.
And a good choice of matchup to throw to as well. Maju, a strong handler, very good in smaller spaces, but not as big as most of the Queensland team, won't be as able to come in and make a play.
Yeah, New South Wales showing a bit of their depth there in that point.
So we're getting close to half-time. Obviously a key time in most games. Do you think you see Queensland doing anything different coming into half-time here, Jonathan?
Well, look, this point they just need to run their offense, don't they? And I think as we talked about, they need to try to tighten up their structure a little bit and provide like a nice, clean, big guy going deep, timed well off one of the key throwers. I think if they do that, they've got a pretty high percentage chance of completing their offense.
Yep, absolutely. So they need to put in the O and then load up their defensive line for the next point, really.
So, I think we're having some issues with getting the scores right, but 7-4, I believe, is the correct score. Poor pull again from New South Wales.
So we're going to see Cook, the Elliott version, bringing in the disc.
But in some ways, you know, like it creates a static disc, which maybe is simpler to shut down the plays from Queensland.
Can be,
But
doesn't allow
they put a horizontal set out,
Yep.
and if they've drilled this, they should be able to generate.
It's an average cutter height of probably about 6'3" in the Queensland stack. Got two big
going
boys
deep.
going.
Mueller's going. Oh, tried to grab it by the trailing edge. I think Mueller almost looked like he had a shot, but
Again, structural problems here, Jonathan.
Yeah.
Like two cutters, two big boys going in the end zone. You only want one. You don't want four people going for that disc.
I think it was, they're looking like they had a miscommunication there.
Yeah.
So Ferguson bring up the disc.
Leask on the mark.
Gets it easily out to Reeve. But no much progression, and wow.
And
there we go.
Dump turnover. It's probably the first time that we've seen New South Wales looking uncomfortable on that dump.
Nice little throw for the goal.
Very nice feed to the dump going across into the break side so that Cook has the chance to throw into that break space. Murphy sees it coming, bends down, makes the catch.
Reeve, who had that beautiful put in the previous point, just slightly overthrew that. Look, there was tight marking around the handlers. I was about to say that New South Wales looked like they were in a little bit of trouble. They just weren't progressing up the field. They were looking early for their dumps, their resets. So, yeah. Maybe didn't kind of have their dominant offensive cutters like Petrov and Cheng out there who, like, seem to always, and Gan, who always seem to be out there to...
It's true, who can always offer and just regenerate the offense. All right. Queensland are going to need to put on a run here. New South Wales 1 point from half.
Crucial, really, for Queensland to score this point. Like, don't really want New South Wales to go into half with a 3-point lead.
3-point lead and feeling that their offense is rolling well. If you can get a break coming into half,
they've shown they can.
Yep.
And this is like, so this is a downwind point for New South Wales.
Yep.
If you can score this, you know, you can almost...
Stronger defensive line from Queensland. Let's see what happens.
Ferguson to Petrov. Petrov sends it. It's a bit out of reach. There you go. Cheng almost catches up to it, but Plate was trailing fast.
Petrov has done something very difficult there. He's managed to overthrow Braden Cheng.
Yeah.
One of the fastest receivers going around. Petrov has ripped it low and hard and throwing downwind, took it away.
Possibly just needed to get it out to one of the side, like out to one of the flanks rather than straight over Cheng's head. It would have been a lot more space for Cheng to chase it down.
Yep. So Queensland have their opportunity here.
And I feel like they need to tighten that stack up just a little bit more. Like they're slowly walking backwards, back of the stack.
I think we're going to see undercut from Leask here. Yep.
Will he send that?
Currently messy from the Queensland boys, getting in each other's way. Grimman attempting to control things. Guys, wonderful.
Oh, no.
Time for Queensland to get their own lucky break.
Get it. Oh, second bid there, but not quite.
One lucky break in a point. Can't get the second one. Big play from Cheng.
The little forward brush earlier in the point and gives himself a nice power position. But, yeah, that was a tight angle to throw into.
It was very tight, and as we said, Cheng being lightning fast, he's able to close down that window on the flat throw. Another defensive player may not have gotten to that. That's where New South Wales' advantage was.
Covering
Cook covering Petrov on that first one. Good cover from Cook.
But Gan is unstoppable under. He wants to reset it to Ferguson.
Again, New South Wales not going forward. Queensland doing a good job here.
Queensland poaching those strong side. Oh, good bid.
The second Cook, Joel Cook on the bid.
Looking to reset it. There's not much there. Petrov gives it. Petrov out on the sideline. Nice little I think there's just a
been
hit
a
call,
hit
and
call.
Grimond's going to pick up his man.
But Grimond allows Gann to keep the disc, saying that he wouldn't have been close enough to make a play. He's just going to catch up to where he would have been.
So Gann with the disc on the sideline, 20-25 metres out, puts it up. Nice throw.
Interesting throw.
Phenomenal, really. Like pinpoint accuracy.
Quite
casual release.
A blade to an away cut down the break side of the field and absolutely nails his man. Okay.
It was
If you were
almost
Queensland,
no doubt from the moment it left the hand.
if you were Queensland, you would accept that on paper. You would want them throwing that shot, but Gann has just nailed the target. And it's tough when the quick players, the great receivers on the team, can also put up throws like that. At least
Good
makes
bid.
a valiant bid. Great coverage to get that close to a breakside huck, but nothing you can do when the throw's that good. So New South Wales take that three-point advantage into half-time.
Yeah, so Queensland definitely in it. There's no doubt. And look, had they completed that, it was they had a good chance that running downwind after that to even it up. So, but you know, I guess often when the teams are tight like this, that's the difference is made up with kind of missed opportunities.
Absolutely.
Like that.
And I think it would be very possible in the Queensland huddle to be thinking about those right now. You're thinking about the little breaks that they didn't quite get, the bobble disc that they didn't come up with. They need to put that out of the mind, though, because, as you said, they're in this game. Their defence has been playing very well. They've been putting more and more pressure on New South Wales. They need to tighten up their offence. If they can score their points more easily, they're in a position to take some breaks.
Yeah, it's their last half of the tournament.
We can hear some excitement from New South Wales as they win a bottle game toss at halftime. It seems like everything's just coming up trumps for them at the moment.
Yeah, look, there's less than 20 minutes on the clock, on game clock. I think Queensland, you know, they'll probably, I think they might shorten their rosters a little bit. I thought it interesting that last defensive point for Queensland. They didn't have a lot of height out there, and might have, like when they were on offense, it might have helped to have a bit more of a deep threat out there, perhaps.
Yeah, we haven't seen a fully stacked Queensland line. Well, I don't think we've seen a fully stacked line from either team yet. We've seen Queensland shift some players around. It'll be interesting to see, as you say, whether they shorten their line even further and load up with Leask, Mueller, Grimond, and see them playing lots of points back to back.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, you know, it can be disruptive, shortening your lines, but yeah, I guess I'm an advocate for it. Like, get your big players to make your big plays, and yeah,
It'll be interesting to see, because obviously teams need to use their whole roster to get them to this point. And both of these teams would be running O&D lines, I imagine, and using their whole roster. Interesting to see what happens when the money is on the line. Some teams may not have prepared for this. They may not have discussed what they're going to do.
Yeah, 3 points down against an outfit like New South Wales, you've got to do some special stuff. Like,
Absolutely.
It's not, you don't need like one or two lucky breaks. You got to kind of come out there and start to just dominate the game. And that's not to say that Queensland at times haven't been dominating. Like, their defense has been super strong. And when their offense is firing, it's amazing. They just need to take it up like another step and just consistently dominate. And I think they can. I think they can do that. So, but they've got to do it for 20 minutes,
That's
25 minutes. They've got to dominate the rest of this game, basically.
Yep. So they're going to be coming out on offense, it looks like. Yep. So Queensland will come out on O. They have the chance to score the first point, and
it's downwind.
they're then going to need 3 breaks. So they need 3 breaks to get back in the lead in this game. In a short time, as you say, nothing less than their best is going to be acceptable here.
Yeah, and look, yeah, it is slightly upwind, downwind. So you could also think of that as getting a couple of upwind breaks, so that's scoring when they're running from right to left on the screen. I think that's a slightly more difficult direction to score in, so they need to get a couple of those under their belts.
Yep. If Queensland can score these first 2 points with an offense conversion, an offense completion, and then a defensive break, they'll be putting themselves in a very strong position. If they can't, if New South Wales holds their offense, or even worse, breaks them, they're going to be putting themselves in a very tough spot with the time remaining.
Yeah, and kind of the advantage that Queensland has when they're running upwind is if they can get some tall guys on the field, they can almost just send nice floaty stuff upwind.
Yep, they just need that structure like we talked about. So Leask with the disc here goes a lovely throw inside to Grimmond. Grimmond puts it in the air. That's what we talked about. High to Mueller.
Use his body well. Very nice. This is the point where we see if they're going to shorten, hey?
This is it.
You've got to have good handlers upwind.
Upwind D point, you need your strongest.
Yeah, you've got to have, like, and these gusts, you know, I mean, it's not a massive wind, but, you know, 10 to 15 kilometres an hour, it's enough to make it a little bit difficult to work the disc upfield, and also, like, you want to be able to threaten a huck.
Absolutely.
And, you know, so it's the sort of wind where, yeah, like a strong thrower can huck at length of the field, but it has to be a strong thrower. And you do want to have a big guy under it. And it looks like they're lining up some big guys.
They've got some height. They haven't really stacked this line very much. Cook has come over, who's normally been playing off even some points. Nope, they're swapping Cook for Leask.
And Grimmond's out there.
Grimmond's out there, but he's normally a defensive player, so it seems like Leask may be the only switch they've made on this point. And they could potentially have added Cook and Leask to this line. There's a couple of changes they could have made, so obviously they've decided they're going to rely on continuing to use their depth with a couple of players brought over.
Yeah. I mean, you can't necessarily overly stack every single line for the rest of the game. But yeah.
Oh, we've seen it done before.
We have.
Pull from Leask. It's good air time. It's landing in. McDonald's pick up.
Ferguson.
First Queensland zone of the game.
That was almost spittable from Grimmond. And Grimmond gets... Oh, wow.
Those breaks.
They got to regroup from that.
Grimmond making the kinds of plays that he's renowned for making.
Good pressure from the mark. They're shutting it down. Petrov
seems needed to be in there.
Really, and they needed to crash in on that pop from Petrov. Oh, beautiful.
Leask goes huge.
Wasn't quite sure if he was going to get to that in the air. But
Alex, another player, renowned for his hustle, renowned for putting his body on the line. Big plays from Grimmond and Leask.
They're covering the deep pretty hard, Queensland.
Lovely break to Sims. Sims not as well known. Great thrower. Murphy just gives it back to Grimmond.
No.
Deep cut from Hamilton. He's coming back in now. Grimmond breaks to Sims again.
Deep
Sims might look for it, but no, gives it back to Grimmond. Queensland not structured well at the moment. As Johnson just said, they're moving into the deep space and not making it available for the next guy. Leads back to Grimmond. Grimmond, huge play. It's a wonderful battle between Cheng and Grimmond at the moment. Lovely break to Joel Cook. Cook dumps to Grimmond. Queensland boys are looking a little bit tired at the moment. The cuts aren't coming at full pace. Murphy coming in on the open side. Murphy comes in hard. Does well, recognised the poach. Goes up the line to Leask. Leask looks forward. Joel
Beautiful.
Cook.
Beautiful.
We may have a call. We may have a call. Queensland celebrating. New South Wales is not moving. We're not sure.
I think they're just disappointed.
No call. So there we go. We have the offensive hold and the defensive break for Queensland.
Yeah,
that's what they needed.
You know, as we said, slightly downwind in this next point for Queensland, but they've got to get a block. But they had a strong team out there in New South Wales, didn't they? Really, like Petrov was out there.
Yep.
Cheng was out there.
Yep.
Gan was out there. Ferguson was out there.
McDonald,
they're all going to have to
handlers.
play this next point.
They're going to be backing up for this point.
And it's going to be a zone again, I reckon.
Very possible.
Effective. Grimmond with that massive block midfield, but batted it up in the air. and then Leask with an even bigger block.
Yep.
Later on.
The one that actually converted.
And on the mark, they had him in a bit of trouble. So, like, there were... Yeah.
Absolutely.
Three massive opportunities, one of which converted. So if they can produce that many opportunities in a zone defense, you've got to stick with it, hey?
The block generated by good team set. Petrov managed to relieve the first one, managed to come in and get the high stall bailout, but didn't have anyone offering the same. He was forced to take a more difficult shot. So we're going to see a similar line backing up. We've got De Hollander and Bonnie coming in.
A lot of height out there, eh?
A lot of height. We got Cook, Anderson, Murphy, the other Cook, Grimman, De Hollander.
Looking like the
good pull dropping in. We've got a big mark. De Hollander is a very, very lanky individual. So they're going to be trusting him to hold the force. And then with Cook and Bonnie in front of that to make life difficult for poppers.
Nice
Excellent
swing.
throw. Good swing.
Oh! Ooh. Again,
Cook
out of the
doesn't recognise
sideline.
the cut.
Ooh, tight. Ferguson swings it across to Wee. Okay, it's with Ferguson. He sneaks it through. Petrov. Oh,
just too much space in the middle of the field.
From there, unless Cupkins, yeah.
Too much
Petrov
space
just
in the middle of the
pops
field.
from behind the thrower, takes an easy goal.
And well
pretty,
done.
Pretty crucial there. Ferguson just snuck it through the cup, and that kind of I think he snuck it through to Wee. That just kind of opened up the whole offense, and they just drilled it maybe 25 metres pass down the middle of the field.
Absolutely.
To Dan on the end zone line.
The New South Wales managed to break out of the trap 2 or 3 times there and get all the way across the field. I think that movement, going across the field those couple of times, opened up that hole for Ferguson to go through.
Yeah, it's tough. Sometimes you just got to step back off the mark when you know that they really want to break back into the middle of the field and just, yeah, I don't know. It's hard.
It's an offensive game.
Yeah.
Queensland got their one break from the zone. New South Wales didn't give them a second. So Queensland is again going to have to hold the offense and find another break. So we're going to be 8 minutes from the cap.
I'm not 100% sure our game clock's right, but I think it is.
Okay.
So, anyway,
we're coming towards cap.
I think there is an official hooter, so we'll say it's roughly 8 minutes, depending on how synced we are with the real clock.
So New South Wales still have a 2-break advantage, so strong position to be in at this stage of the game.
But Queensland scores this. They've got a freshish line on, so they should be confident. They score this. Their defense is good. I think you could put money on their defense being able to generate a block if their offense can score this one, so they can even it up.
Just a regulation offensive line for Queensland. De Hollander just stops the pull moving forward, and we have Maju giving it to Cook. Looks like a straight-up mark from New South Wales. A lot of pressure being put on, a high stall. Hamilton offers the relieving cut. Dumps back to Cook. Not seeing much in the way of good deep cuts at the moment. Queensland are setting up a little bit deep.
Beautiful
Leask
inside
throw. Great throw from Cook.
And he's leading deep, Leask. Beautiful.
Leask makes the play again.
That was a great play by him.
Leask really turning up in this stage of the game.
They did look in trouble earlier there, didn't they? Weren't generating much, but again, I think similar to what we saw. But what you often see is there's a lot of pressure. You start to break out of that pressure, and into parts of the field where the defense isn't concentrating, and suddenly your flow opens up.
Yep, very easy as a defensive team to feel on top for the first 15 seconds of a point. You're still fresh. If you manage to stop the first couple of cuts, you think you're in a pretty good spot.
The energy is with Queensland. New South Wales called a timeout.
This is true. New South Wales looking a little flat. Potentially a veteran move to run down the clock.
Possibly.
You can see Grimmond is currently on the field discussing with Copeland and Leask, the coaches, discussing what kind of strat they're going to take into the back end of this game. You see there.
Beautiful read from Leask. Just follows it into the end zone.
And so that's what we talked about earlier, Jonathan, about having a deep cut coming from short and having some space to go into.
Yeah.
And Queensland did better with that there.
Yeah, you just need to be on the run so you can pick that spot where you can grab the disc at your height. It's exciting. I think, like, if you asked me a week ago about what we was going to see in the final, this is not probably what I would have thought was going to happen. Like a 1 point game, New South Wales and Queensland. It's great.
Yep.
Almost validates the whole format, doesn't it?
It's been an exciting weekend. It's exciting to see these guys coming out in their state colours. A little bit unusual in our sport. We've played a lot of club competition, and exciting to see these guys wearing the maroon of Queensland and the blue of New South Wales.
There's some history in this in Frisbee because way back when, a fairly common feature of the Queensland tournament each year, the halibut and the tournament that was before the halibut, was a state of origin game between Queensland and New South Wales. And those were some hard-fought matches, with Queensland winning a lot of those games, and very passionate. And kind of seeing that state passion, aren't we?
It's true. It's been a while.
Queensland can bring that like no other state, I feel.
It's been probably close to 10 years since those state of origin matches were operating. So, yeah, it's fantastic to see that coming back out. C-sides cheering Queensland, C-sides cheering New South Wales.
Man, I feel my impartiality like quickly slipping away at the end of this game.
I'll be honest, I never had impartiality in this game. I hope people at home recognise that. New South Wales have been playing very well. There's no doubt that they put themselves in a strong position, but I may be excited when Queensland comes back. So you see the defensive line for Queensland here. Looks like they've brought over Cook and Leask from the offense. And then we've got Grimmond, Sims, Tan, Anderson and Murphy, standard D matchups. So Sims there is probably the only player under 6 foot tall.
Yeah, wow. That is a tall line. This is going to be some rabid defense, don't you think?
Yep. We've got the speed
coming
on
out
New
of the
South Wales
timeout.
end. Gan, Tran, Cheng are all on the field. McDonald and Ferguson to handle.
Beautiful pull. The very best pull of the day.
Sims chasing down
pretty,
hard.
Average pulls. Ferguson with the disc.
Queensland in a zone setup.
To McKay, back to Ferguson.
Looks like some form of...
they're having a bit of a look at this, New South Wales. Oh, found the gap to Cheng, but can't get continuation. Maybe transition to man.
Yep, so they're falling into man now.
Just haven't picked up all the men. McCabe's still free.
Murphy's coming in now. Murphy's going to come in to find this.
Dangerous when Grimmond's not on a man.
Grimmond on Petrov. Grimmond on Petrov. This is a good matchup. Key players for both teams.
Ferguson has a disc.
Here it
Sends
goes.
it. Got to get up. Oh! Petrov got the hand to it. Got the finger to it. Surely there's not a call.
Looks like we have no call.
No call, yeah.
Petrov agrees that there was some contact, but it was after he had the chance to make the play.
And look, I think Grimmond probably had position in front of him as well, didn't he?
Yep, it looked like pretty clean contest.
But
well done from the boys.
Like Petrov did well to be the one making the play on that. I thought he was kind of sandwiched, but
yep,
he got there and got the disc to hand.
Explosive cut.
Grimmond running deep, taking a defender with him.
Leask
now
gets
he's
the
free
disc.
again. And they jack it
Leask
big.
Puts it to one of the biggest boys on the field.
Oh,
Anderson
big
makes
grab.
a big play.
On the end zone line.
Great chase from Tran.
Cutter's coming.
Anderson
Grimmond
with
will want
a
it.
smart choice.
But
Murphy to Cook.
one-handed. A little bit cheeky one-handed. Happy about that, isn't he?
Very, very happy. There's the Queensland boys with their next break. Tighten it up. The game is now tied.
9-all. One team massively excited. One team like Latamatis, the New South Wales coach, just trying to get calm into the team. They're not looking too stressed, but yeah.
In the first half, Jonathan, that was the kind of play where we saw New South Wales come up with just a couple of those 50-50 things. And Queensland kind of got a little bit of their own luck. Yeah,
that was a bit of luck
could
there.
have caught
really
that, potentially.
Petrov got the hand to disc.
A tough play, but that's the kind of fortune that has allowed Queensland to come away with the break there. This could have easily been a 10-8 game. We've just heard the cap go, so I don't know the rule for sure. Jonathan, do you know?
Adding one.
Okay, so game to 11.
Yes, game to 11. Very fast maths there from you, John. Yeah, so 2 or 3 points of excitement coming up for us and for our viewers at home. At home or on the road or wherever they have access to the internets.
We've just had a look at the viewing map. We've got countries, we think we've got 13 countries watching this game. Very exciting. Hello to our viewers in Slovenia. Joel Cook chasing the pull hard.
Pulls in bounds, forcing him to get some movement. There's no movement initially.
Queensland in another zone set.
Yeah, it's quite poachy, isn't it?
Looks like a 2-3-2 shape.
Out to, close to a bit. Petrov has it.
Man's being called. Queensland collapsing into man now. Key matchups, least on Petrov.
They've stopped all forward progress.
Good
Gann
break.
has it. Will Gann send up one of his throws?
Great inside break.
McDonald with the disc. Chang. Oh! Wow! Blind. I'm not sure if he stuck his hand out at that, but beautiful.
Anderson looks for the deep cut. Wasn't the right throw that time. Anderson needs to come back in, open that space up. Joel Cook going now.
They're excited. They've got lots of deep cutters.
So New South Wales here is running Cheng as a dedicated deep.
They just need to be
He's
smart.
not following a man at all.
Hold the stack. And
Good
New South
bit.
Wales is tired too.
That's not the throw.
Cheng pulls it down.
Cheng in that dedicated deep roll.
He's walking very slowly back to the line.
Energy still with Queensland on the sideline here, I would say.
Pick called. Queensland gets their breath back with a pick. Everyone's sucking wind out there.
Tan on the mark here. Murphy covering McDonald in the dump position.
Gann running. That's trouble. Okay.
Good coverage from Murphy on the dump. High stall. Cheng has to just put it up.
Grimmin under. Whoa! Big grab by Grimmin.
That's a play we want making a play.
He was running backwards. I don't think there'll be a call, but it's grabbing knee. Is that Gann?
That looks like Gann on the ground there. That's not good for New South Wales.
Hopefully it's okay.
Doesn't seem too serious, but whether he'll be able to keep playing, it'll be a big blow for New South Wales.
Big grab by Grimmin.
Big play from Grimmin and great coverage from Murphy on the dump and from Cook on the
Tracked that
undercut.
backwards. Oh, he didn't even, totally clean. Unfortunate, Gann. I hope he's all right.
Doesn't look good. He's being assisted off the field. Looks like Gann might be out for the rest of this game. Big blow for New South Wales.
It is. He was pretty crucial.
Yep,
Kind of gets open at will.
And a lot of disc in difficult situations.
They need to get a defensive player on, and will Queensland sub? Who would they sub if they wanted
Queensland have put Mueller in.
That's pretty.
For Tan.
That's
It's a good
smart,
choice.
Yeah.
Strong choice. Tan's played a good defensive game.
Mueller fresh and just
Mueller,
he's going to want this.
It'll be interesting to see whether Cheng continues
Not sure
in that dedicated
why Grimmin
deep
doesn't
roll.
have the disc, but maybe he spilt it on the ground. Anyway.
Cook picking up, Leask in the dump position. Mueller makes the first cut, gets looked off.
Not sure why I didn't throw to Mueller.
Swing out to
They
Murphy.
get out of trouble.
Murphy gives it to his mate Grimmin and heads to the end zone.
Grimmin gets some contact, stops it.
Queensland is one of their
Looking
strongest
around
lines
the
of the
field
day.
now, looking at where Mueller is, I reckon.
Cheng's very aware of the threat. Cheng's playing back shoulder on Mueller.
Mueller goes hard to the corner.
Mueller
No.
makes a great cut, draws Petrov on defense, but
Miscommunication.
least to Grimmond. You would pick that to complete 99% of the time.
Just
You
a
throw-
tight mark on a tight defender on. Grimmond didn't really feel like he had the cut. Yeah.
Good defense. New South Wales have
Ferguson
done
picking
well
up.
to earn that back. Cheng starts to cut
Wind's
deep,
coming.
not at full speed.
The wind just gusted through. They are tired. Like both teams are happy to have a little bit of a break.
I think Petrov and Leeski will be a very interesting matchup. Petrov obviously earns a lot of
Wee
disc
with
wins
the
in
disc.
Wales.
Tight defense. Nothing really. Oh, Dave
Crucial
Andrews,
catch.
massive grab. He's looking fresh. Ferguson gets a
Grimmond
bit
not his best bid.
attacked. Cheng will keep running. He wants to reset it.
Called. Hasn't been recognised. Now they've picked it up. Pick somewhere downfield.
Mueller trying to be massive on the mark. The danger here is Cheng sneaking something into the end zone, I reckon. You don't want to give him an easy shot in the end zone.
Agreed. We've got Grimmond near the disc. We've got Joel Cook on the dump. I think it's going to be...
You kind of want to get it in someone else's hands, even. Like, even if you've got a high count on Cheng, just
Let's see what happens here. We've got a violation call. Looks like Petrov might have just gone a little bit too early. Tried to make the bailout cut.
think we're going to see a lot of stoppages from here on in, John.
Well, possibly. They're not as old and jaded as the Masters, but it's true. Towards the end of the game, you often do see that.
Just, yeah, people are tired. It's not a spirit thing, really.
Great cut from Wee. Completely burns Murphy.
Ferguson, nice cut. Oh, over the top. Everyone stopped.
Interesting matchup here. Petrov is now no longer covered by Leesk. He has Anderson. Anderson, we saw him make that big play on Cheng earlier. Interesting to see how it goes on this smaller, quicker matchup.
Not on. It's pressure. Cheng. Oh. Out to Dave Andrews. Ferguson. Middle of the field. Cheng gives him an easy cut. Ferguson looking to run up the line. Grimmond's got that covered. He's in trouble. Oh, Petrov just grabs it. Perhaps? No, I think it's going to stay with Petrov.
Very exciting. New South Wales not moving easily.
They looked to threaten there. Like, they got a bit of space, but shut down quickly by Queensland. Oh! Grimmond just reads the play. Someone's got to run deep. Grimmond wants to send it. He doesn't.
Reeve had actually made a wonderful cut there. He'd beaten his man, and Grimmond just saw it coming. Cook goes up line.
They need someone to run deep, clean. Someone's...
Petrov
There's
playing
poachers
Jane
and
as
they
a
need to
dedicated
punish
deep.
those poachers. Big tall guy going.
There we go.
Oh, it's going to be a big contest. Oh, over the top.
Huge from Anderson. Massive.
Plucks it out. That's a goal.
Anderson with an enormous play. It looks like they might be discussing.
Talking about, like, again, New South Wales
They've
is
given
just
it up.
in a bit of disbelief, and they're not making a call. They're just like dismayed.
Grimmond and Anderson, huge
Plucked that over the
plays.
top. Yeah, Grimmond's read on that short pass into the end zone was just perfect, wasn't it?
Fantastic read
It
from
almost
Grimmond.
looked like the throw was to him. And Anderson took the initiative and ran deep. Plucked it over the top of Andrews.
Andrews does very well. Andrews puts himself
He
in
was
the
there.
best spot. Just can't teach tall. Queensland with their first lead since about 3-2, I believe.
Yeah, that was so long ago, John, I can't remember.
Long time ago. They've earned their 3 breaks. New South Wales is now looking
10-9.
looking in the face
You
of...
wouldn't write home about it, would you?
Not at all. Queensland 2 chances to win the first ever Australian Under-22 Ultimate Championships. New South Wales are going to have to score and then break.
Yeah, so New South Wales has called a timeout, unsurprisingly.
Both sides.
Gan's looking a little bit ginger, I don't know.
Both sides have their women's team supporting. You can see them on camera on the far sidelines. I believe the New South Wales women beat the Queensland women earlier this morning.
I think, expecting New South Wales to be in the final later today. This is an exciting way to start off our gold medal matches for the day, isn't it, John?
Absolutely. Yeah. For the sake of Queensland, I would love them to score at this point. For the sake of our viewers back home, if New South Wales can hold, we go to Universe. And there's no more exciting way to finish a game.
Again, the energy is totally with Queensland. And, you coming out on defence, that's where you want to be, don't you? Just have absolute belief. And they have belief with reason, don't they? Because they've troubled New South Wales the whole game. They, poachers, they've been layout blocks. They've been putting a lot of pressure on the mark. So, yeah, it's not by accident where they are on the scoreboard.
No, we talked about that earlier in the game, that the pressure was there. They were giving themselves chances, and those chances are turning into scores in the second half.
And they're putting it up to their big guys. They've got their mojo, haven't they?
Strong line coming out here for defence. They've brought over Mueller, Leask and Cook from the offensive line. Obviously, that timeout was a chance to give their key players a little breather. I think would be very surprised if New South Wales scored this point. I'd be very surprised to see many switches from Queensland for the O point, next point.
It's kind of interesting. I mean, in an offense-oriented game, there can be a temptation to just rest your top players, top offensive players, make sure they come out fresh, and just if it goes with serve, your offense just comes and calmly scores the final point. But it's so tempting to try and score it here, right here and
up
now.
that line.
When you're getting blocks like they are, it seems like a pretty good bet. It's almost a defense-oriented game in some ways, right at this point in time.
It's true. As we were talking about, this end running left to right, they do have the advantage of the wind. It's not strong at the moment, but it is there.
And for Queensland, a floaty disc is in their favour.
Absolutely. So we'll have Cook to pull.
Pull is going to be important here.
It's true.
You want it deep and in the end zone.
The last pull this direction was good. There haven't been many downwind pulling opportunities in this game. We'll see what Cook can pull out. Normally very consistent with his pulls. And it's okay. Not what you'd call good, but...
To McCabe, to Ferguson.
Side stack.
They're just going with regular man-on-man defence. But Ferguson gets it back, struggling to get any forward progression or any undercuts. Yep, Ferguson has nothing. He's got a swing maybe, but it's shut down. Cheng shut down. Freeman is running that under that one. Oh, big grab!
Leask goes huge. Always had position. Read it very well.
Amazing.
Gives it to Murphy. Murphy goes to Mueller.
Okay.
Queensland with a little breakaway.
Freeman's just
going
hanging
up the field.
back. I don't know why
Mueller,
he's
Anderson.
not
Mueller gets it
injecting
again.
himself, but
Murphy
it's
with the deep
moving.
cut. Sims with the disc. Murphy looking deep again. Goes out to Leask. This
Now
is a one-on-one
wants to
that
get in
Queensland
there.
will like.
Grimmon's free. No.
We have some
there's
kind
a
of call.
Injury. Cramp.
Grimman and his man got tangled up in there. I'm not sure what the call is here.
If you're Queensland, you actually want this little stoppage, I think, because it was a little bit chaotic. They can just see the field now. I thought it was interesting how Grimman just hung back while that went up the field, rather than really chase it and try to get involved. He's going to get involved now, no doubt. If he
Absolutely.
can.
I think we're going to see Cook move to the dump position here.
He's got to step and it's thrown to him. Disappointing. It looked like the option, didn't it?
It was a very, very tight window. A lot of New South Wales
maybe need a bit more
closing.
The sideline, there's actually a bit of a crowd on the sideline, which might have made that throw a little bit more difficult than it could have
Tough
been.
choice.
You know,
But New South Wales do now need to work the full field, starting from the cone.
Cheng's putting himself strong side.
I think we're going to see a clear from Cheng here. No. Good inside
easy
break.
under.
Great inside break. Just
There's nothing upfield. It's not a stacked team from New South Wales right now. Like, no Petrov.
It's true. Petrov is not on the field. You have to wonder if he's injured.
Well, I mean,
I don't see any reason why they wouldn't put him on. But trusting their depth.
Ferguson, New South Wales is struggling to get forward momentum at all. Cheng's going to have to just get a lot of disc, I feel.
And I think Anderson's going to be keen to actually convert
Ferguson
his block.
might want to send it to him if he can get out, if Cheng can get out in front. But I'm not sure. I think Grimman knows that. No, there's nothing. He's in the air. Cheng's got it easily.
Good throw from Ferguson.
He's got a receiver and he's sending it, but Queensland's got to catch that. Yeah. Oh no! Oh my God! Wow. We call
Cook,
that
after his piece of luck,
rookie
gives
error.
it to Mueller. Back to Cook.
Bit of wind coming. Grimman running
Grimman
deep.
generating deep. Mueller actually has a
Overthrown.
left-hand injury. Wonder whether he maybe had difficulty making that catch with that.
Ferguson picking it up. He's about halfway. He wants to reset it. Cheng's coming under. Oh, covered. Oh, big grab.
Big play from Denstran. Good break. Queensland need to seal that.
Big
Another
inside.
good break.
Oh, they're moving it well right now. Queensland kind of a bit flat-footed.
His break passes have really hurt. Yep, Queensland were in good positions on open side.
Okay, Cheng has a chance to calm things down. He's got McCabe on an easy under.
Okay, feeds to the end
Puts a
zone.
bit of air under it. That wasn't smart.
Cook with his second D of the point and makes a little bit more sure of this one. Still
They
doesn't
need
catch
to
it.
Shorten their stack, Queensland, and just provide a streaker deep. Mueller's just jogging deep.
Mueller goes, draws Cheng, comes back under. Anderson also there. Cheng is playing very deep, playing well off Mueller at the moment. Cheng's looking to inject
Poaches
himself.
in on that.
Cook with the disc. Not much in the way of cuts from Queensland. Good cut
Grimman.
from Grimman. Lee's going deep.
He takes the reset quite happily. Like
Grimman.
he takes the... Yeah. They just want to...
A little bit unhappy with the mark there. Lee's drawn two
space,
going deep.
There's a bit of space, but Cheng is there within striking distance. It's
Somebody can
chancy
come and get
throwing
the
it
disc.
to Cheng.
Looks like Sims may have been the poached player there. Didn't recognise it.
They need Grimman to get the disc back. He does. No! Big in the
Puts it
air.
to Anderson. Can
That's
Anderson
goal.
make the play again?
Oh, big grab, big block. He let it just flow a bit further than it should have gone. It should have gone up earlier.
Needed to go early. The disc didn't get in front of him at any point. That was what we were talking about.
Great
Didn't have the chance to
block
control
by New
space.
South Wales.
Big play from Reeve. Sims on the mark. Ferguson walking slowly.
That looked like that was the game. Had a lot of air under it. Just didn't get up there.
Queensland living and dying by the huck.
Ferguson's been shown the backhand. He won't take it. He wants it under. Cheng's giving it. Cheng will look at the huck. No. Good coverage. They've got space to Reeve. Back to Reeve. He swings it. He keeps it
looking a lot better here. They're moving much more easily.
Some call.
That's
Sure.
probably the cleanest and smoothest New South Wales offense has looked for a number of points. Queensland maybe looking
for some
tired.
reason, they
Number of
look
people hands
rejuvenated
on
or-
hips.
Everyone's tired. Oh, almost behind. McDonald has it. McDonald throws it. That's going to be a goal. Oh! Oh! Wow, what a block!
Murphy.
What a
Murphy,
block.
an enormous play. Saves the point for Queensland. Huge play from Lachlan Murphy.
That looked like that was a goal.
Had a fairly quiet game so far, Murphy. That's a big play and a big time to make it. Lee squawking to pick up the disc. Grimmin in dumb position. Queensland's
They need to
quite
dig
deep
deep
at the moment.
Queensland
need to shorten themselves up like we talked
need
about.
to keep Cheng out of the end zone. Good. Oh, it was a good read, but couldn't stick it.
Again, just throwing to a very
Ferguson.
deep matchup.
Oh, is it cool on the throw?
We have
call
a
on the
stoppage.
Or a stall called? Someone do they stall?
Don't think it could have been a stall. It's quite
just a
early.
call on the throw.
Looks like it must have been a foul call.
Oh. It wasn't the best of throws, or wasn't the best executed throw, so you
A
definitely
little
want to
bit
get that out to
fortunate
the
for
end zone.
Queensland.
Mueller coming under. He has got Cheng on him. Oh, that's separated.
They do the same thing again.
Oh! Misread. Mueller has it just outside the end zone. Good fake. Oh, Mueller miscommunication,
doesn't
but
drop
he
a lot.
manages to recover. He's cutting someone's post.
Cook does well. Very good choice. Gives it to Murphy. Murphy back to Cook. Linus possibly free.
Wow. There you go. Bit of patience. A bit of maybe not luck outside the end zone, but it wasn't all 100% those passes. And Queensland takes the title. That was a massively exciting game towards the end there, wasn't it? Massively exciting game. And I've lost my co-commentator. He's gone to join the Queenslanders. Superb finish to the game. It did look like New South Wales kind of had enough of a dominance coming into half-time at 8-5. But Queensland just put in an amazing amount of fight in that second half. And smarts, they played good ultimate. They played poachy defense, ran hard on defense, ran hard on offense, opened up the game with some long shots, made some massive plays. Both teams made some massive plays in that game. That was exciting. Thank you very much for joining us, everyone. We've got the mixed final coming up right now, so join us for that. Thank you.